Two women turned 52 this year. They grew up in the same small town. They went to the same school. They even share the same birthday. On paper, they are identical. But if scientists looked inside their cells right now, they would find something strange. One of these women is biologically a full decade younger than the other. Same age on a birth certificate, 10 years apart on the inside. How is that even possible? It turns out your body keeps two different clocks running at once. One clock counts birthdays, the other clock counts something else entirely. It counts damage, repair, inflammation, and recovery happening inside your cells every single day. Scientists call this your biological age. And unlike your birthday, it is not fixed. It moves. It can speed up. It can slow down. And the surprising part is that the gap between these two women did not come from luck or good genes. It came from a handful of daily choices repeated for years until those choices left a mark on their DNA itself. Today we are going to walk through 5 of those choices. Each one is backed by real published research, not wellness trends or vague advice. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly what changed in each woman's life and where you might already be closer to one path than the other. Let us start with movement, but not just any movement. What matters most is your cardiorespiratory fitness, meaning how well your heart and lungs deliver oxygen to your body during effort. Japanese researchers studied over 100 men past the age of 65. They found that the fitter these men were, the slower their biological clock ticked forward, even after accounting for smoking and drinking habits. Think of a retired engineer in one of these studies. He started walking briskly every other day at 68, only because his neighbour's dog needed the exercise. Within a few years, his fitness level matched men 15 years younger. And based on findings from similar research, his cellular aging appeared to slow right alongside it. This does not mean running marathons. It means consistent effort that raises your heart rate, done regularly enough that your body adapts and keeps that adaptation over time. The second habit is about what ends up on your plate. A Mediterranean-style diet, rich in vegetables, fish, olive oil, and nuts, has been studied for years for its link to telomeres, the protective caps at the ends of your chromosomes that shorten every time a cell divides. In a large Spanish study of people with high heart disease risk, following this kind of diet was linked to better preserved telomeres years later. A similar shift played out in an ordinary life. A woman past the age of 45 swapped her usual processed dinners for fish, vegetables, and a handful of nuts, not to lose weight, but because heavy meals were wrecking her sleep. The side effect was not just better sleep. Based on research like this, her cells may have been aging more slowly too. And here is the strange scientific fact behind all of this. Researchers found that eating plain walnuts every day for 2 years was linked to slower telomere shortening in older adults. And this effect showed up even without any other change to their diet. A simple handful of nuts, and the trace shows up at the level of your chromosomes. The third habit is probably the most underrated one, and that is sleep. Researchers discovered that the link between how long you sleep and your risk of death forms a U shape. Sleeping too little raises that risk. Sleeping too much raises it too. The lowest risk sits right in the middle, somewhere around 7 to 9 hours a night. It is easy to blame a bad night here and there, but the pattern matters more than any single night. Here is the tricky part though. Poor sleep is not always just a cause of faster aging. Sometimes it is a symptom, a sign that inflammation or another health issue is already building underneath the surface. Either way, the takeaway is simple. Protecting your sleep window is not a luxury. It is one of the clearest, most consistent signals your body sends about how well it is aging. The fourth habit is how you handle chronic stress, and one landmark study made this connection unforgettable. Researchers studied mothers who had spent years caring for a chronically ill child compared to mothers of healthy children. The caregiving mothers had noticeably shorter telomeres than the other group. The difference was not small. It lined up with roughly a decade of extracellular aging just from years of sustained emotional strain. Later studies looked at what might reverse this pattern. Mindfulness and meditation practices were linked to lower cortisol levels, the body's main stress hormone. Some of these studies even found a rise in telomerase activity, an enzyme that helps rebuild and repair telomeres over time. This does not mean stress itself is the enemy. Short bursts of stress are normal and even useful. It is the chronic, unrelenting kind that seems to leave the deepest mark on your cells. The fifth habit might surprise you because it has nothing to do with food or exercise. It is the quality of your social connections. Loneliness and social isolation independently predict earlier death, and the effect is strong enough to rival other well-known health risks. The likely mechanism runs through chronic inflammation and stress hormones, both triggered by a simple feeling, the feeling of being disconnected from other people. Here is something researchers keep noticing across many of these studies. None of these 5 habits work alone inside your body. They overlap and reinforce each other in ways that surprise even scientists. Better sleep lowers stress hormones. Lower stress hormones support a healthier gut and steadier blood sugar. Steadier blood sugar makes exercise feel easier and more sustainable. Strong social connections often nudge people toward better food choices and more consistent sleep schedules too. This overlap is sometimes called the compounding effect of healthy behavior, and it shows up again and again in longevity research. It also means you do not need to master every habit perfectly starting tomorrow. Small improvements in one area tend to ripple into the others over time. Slightly earlier bedtime this week, one more vegetable-rich meal next week. A short walk added the week after. Each small change makes the next one easier, and together they build the kind of momentum that actually lasts. Now think back to those 2 women from the beginning. The gap between them was never about genetics or luck. It came from a stack of small daily decisions: a walk instead of the elevator, fish instead of another processed meal, 1 extra hour of sleep, a phone call to a friend instead of another quiet night alone with a screen. None of these choices change your life in a single day, but together they are exactly what shapes that hidden cellular age. So which of these 5 habits do you think matters most in your own life? Tell me in the comments below. And if you want more science-backed ways to protect your brain and body as you age, subscribe to the channel so you never miss the next video.